Ladies and gentlemen,
this is very important. Listen to this. Listen.
We go to the scorecards. Julie Letterman scores at 116 to 112 for Chaves. Bert Clemens scores at 115, 113 for Bradley. And Craig Metcalf scores at 114, 114, a three-way split. This contest officially is a draw.
Crazy, right?
Well, a draw is not a win, but to a certain degree, Diego Chaves finally catches a break in America. As Julie Letterman defies her father's expectations by seeing the fight for Chaves by 8 rounds to 4. As we said, it's not an easy job. And now Tim Bradley is saddled with a draw instead of a win against Diego Chaves.
Julie Letterman is Harold Letterman's daughter.
Wow.
The guy who does the unofficial cards for HBO.
Very unusual.
He probably gonna snap on his daughter tonight.
And those are the Argentines chanting Diego, Diego, Diego. Final CompuBox numbers.
Listen.
Bradley by CompuBox count.
Listen.
Landing 73 more. Judges don't see this. Throwing only 2 more. Landing at a significantly higher connect percentage. Power shots. Bradley landing 38 more, throwing 20 more, landing at a significantly higher percentage. It's an advantage you have sitting at home. CompuBox numbers, it's an advantage we have sitting at ringside. The judges don't have that vehicle. CompuBox punch zone showing the punches landing on Bradley. Chaves only 58 body shots. Most of his landed punches upstairs. Bradley evenly mixed. 122 to the head, 103 to the body. So even though he landed 73 more punches by CompuBox count, it winds up in the eyes of the judges a draw, with one judge, one of the most respected judges in the world, seeing Chaves as the winner of 8 rounds. And now Max Kellerman stands by with Tim Bradley.
Tim, good, tough fight. What did you think about the decision?
I thought the decision was horrible, but you know, hey, I'm not a judge, man. I thought I won the fight clearly. I give maybe 4 rounds, maybe 5 and max at that, but for the most part, I felt like I controlled the action. I was landing clean punches. I felt like I won the fight.
That's how we felt ringside. First round, you were boxing. There were a couple of headbutts. They looked unintentional from both sides. But then you moved to the inside for the next 4 or 5 rounds, and it was tough, but you seemed to be winning. Tell me about that.
Well, that was just the strategy of mine. I listened to my corner. My corner told me to close the gap on him, to try to wear him down a little bit because he was really he was in really good condition for this fight. So that's why I stepped inside, smothered him, landed my shots, body shots, just trying to get to his body, slow him down.
Then you moved back to the outside. Why?
Moved back to the outside because then he started wearing down. Then I could be able to land counters on him because I'm quicker.
How much vision did you have in that left eye? Was it impaired, and how much?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of headbutts early on, and then you know, he landed a couple of good right hands on the top of my eye. I felt it. It was solid right hands. It just, you know, improved the swelling.
Could you see out of the left eye?
I can see you, Chris. Fine. You look good. Right here.
What's next steps for you?
Next step, man, just go back, talk to
rematch.
You know, my manager, my wife. We'll sit down and we'll see what's next, man. Like I said, I felt like I won the fight clearly, but you know, hey, the judges saw it a different way. Ain't nothing I can do about it.
We were talking ringside about the possibility of you moving up to 154 pounds, where you would be giving up a lot of size. It even seems as though you give up some size at welterweight. Is that a possibility?
You know what? It is everything's a possibility, absolutely. You know, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. You know, talk to my coaches, talk it over with my coaches, critique what we did here tonight. And that's it. I mean, I wasn't tired in the fight. I just felt a little flat in spots, but you know, I'll get better.
Thanks, Tim.
It's going to be important to listen to, like, basically, it was the battle of the headbutts. So we know that Timothy Bradley, in the past, especially with the Devin Alexander fight, has been known to be like Bernard Hopkins, Evander Holyfield, and his head seems to come before the punch. So he'll hit you with his head and his punch at the same time. You know, almost simultaneously. So looking at Diego Chaves' face and looking at Timothy Bradley faced. I had the privilege of being on a media call with Timothy Bradley and his team last week, and Timothy Bradley was talking about, well, we know Diego Chaves is dirty, so like if he's going to try to fight dirty, I'm going to fight dirty too, and it's basically paraphrasing it. So we saw that the return of Headbutt Bradley tonight, December the 13th, 2014, on T Street Controversy Live. As you heard it right there, the fight, Timothy Bradley, Diego Chaves is a draw. Timothy Bradley, 31-1-1. His defeat, he lost to Manny Pacquiao. He should have 2 losses to Pacquiao, in my opinion. We're going to leave that at that. But now he has a draw where I thought he won the fight. Now, I want to point out that people say that the judges are paid off and certain things like that. For some reason, the Mandalay Bay must be buried on some type of ancient Indian burial ground or something, because you get Mauricio Herrera getting robbed, and then you get Harold Letterman. That I'm trying to get you to understand that Harold Letterman is the guy who does the unofficial cards for HBO. Now, a lot of people really don't know his name. So his daughter, who he's trained, scored the fight a draw. I just don't know. And then when you hear the CompuBox, numbers, I just don't know. So for Timothy Bradley not to be sure if he wants a rematch or not, and of course his mom is his not his mom, his wife is his Al Heyman, his wife is his manager. Get that rematch. If you fight Manny Pacquiao twice, you got paid $2 million, and Diego Chaves $35,000. Diego Chaves is going to get a raise because even though it's a draw, it's not a loss for Chaves. So as Jim Lampley says, basically, Diego Chaves is getting a break. So it means somewhat of a win for him because he doesn't take 2 losses straight, and then he doesn't take 3 losses to basically 3 American fighters: Keith Thurman, Brandon Rios, and now Timothy Bradley. So now the door is still open for Diego Chaves, and that's how fans can look at it and say, oh, that's why they robbed Bradley, because Diego Chaves is getting paid $35,000, only $35,000, and they had to make sure they repaid him in some way, shape, or form. I get all that. Now, was it true? It's tough, especially when you see that Herrera fight and the way they scored that fight. It's tough. So, maybe the judges got it out for Timothy Bradley. And let me point this out. You're going to see it in the thumbnail. I never seen somebody get head-butted and they got a knot on his jaw. He had a knot on his jaw. So he tried to headbutt game. Diego Chaves headbutt, as somebody said. I forgot who it was in the comments section. Somebody said that Diego Chaves can try to be dirty, but Timothy Bradley's headbutt is more gangster. And right now, we see that Timothy Bradley's headbutt is not as gangster. It ain't got nothing. It ain't got nothing on Diego Chaves' dirty Diego work. So as far as Diego Chaves is concerned, he is a marketable fighter, but fighters are not going to want to fight him. But if you look at the situation he's in, basically being an HBO fighter now and a top-ranked fighter, remember he signed to Top Rank. He's in that top-ranked carousel. So now you got a rematch with Brandon Rios that can happen. You got a rematch with Timothy Bradley that can happen. And look, voila, we got Diego Chaves, who's basically going to be an HBO household name. You see how, you see how it's working? And then if you want to, you can say, hey, well, let me throw Diego Chaves in with the winner of Brandon Rios versus Mike Alvarado. Even if Mike Alvarado lose, HBO can still sell Diego Chaves versus Mike Alvarado. Diego Chaves versus Ruslan Provodnikov. You see? So you see how that whole top-ranked, HBO thing works? There's only but so many fighters they can work with. Because if you look at the other side, Al Heyman, he has the best and majority of the 140 and 147-pound fighters. So it is what it is. Well, Timothy Bradley moved to 154. Of course, we've been hearing about him and Miguel Cotto, but now that fight doesn't have too much, right now until we get rid of that Diego Chaves thing. Simple as that. So the Miguel Cotto fight is pretty much out of the picture, especially with that Miguel Cotto A-side whole situation. So now you have to think about, okay, well, Timothy Bradley Pacquiao 3 is going, and then you have to think, well, I remember when Chris Algieri defeated Ruslan Provodnikov, and Timothy Bradley was basically saying the Ruslan rematch don't really have too much on it now. Timothy Bradley versus Ruslan 2, fans would welcome it. Fans would welcome it. Maybe thinking about it right now, you say, oh, what's the point? But if you think, but if you go back to how the first fight was, and then if you think about what you want in boxing right now, that fight makes a lot of sense. So I'm T Street Controversy with Real Combat Media. This is T Street Controversy Live. I am so tired. And I'm not meaning to bitch, but it's a lot of boxing. Please subscribe.